I wanted to tell you that the reason why I'm sharing my experience with having breast surgery is to help somebody else that might be going through the same thing. I wanted to be able to let you understand what it's like. So, the first thing that I should tell you is that breast cancer runs in my family. Also, fibroid tumors run in my family. And so in my 20s, I had 2 lumpectomies for fibroid tumors that were very, very large in my right breast. So because of the type of tumor that it was, they had roots. The surgeon told me that he would have to cut out breast tissue. And when he cut out the breast tissue, it made my breast uneven. I always wore like a C cup. But when he did that surgery, one of my breasts was a C cup and the other was about a B cup because they took out tissue. So at that time, they put in masectomy implants. Now, I was 20 then. I'm 61 now. So for all those years, really, I had beautiful breasts. My whole entire family has very dense breasts, so I was always very pleased with my breast, and I never had any issues. So, those particular implants that were put in me were called the meme or the replicon. Now, about a year after they put them in me, they said that there was a lawsuit, that I could be involved in this lawsuit and I could get them taken out and I would get a settlement. But at the time, money meant nothing to me, and I did not want to be a part of the settlement, and I didn't want to have another breast surgery. So I opted to keep them in my body, even knowing that they had been recalled. Now, for several years, I never had any issue, but in the last year, between 60 and 61, I started to have issues, and I know not all of y'all want to hear these details, but I'm going to explain it like this. Okay, I'm not a person who sweats a lot, but the first thing that I notice is between my breast, on the breast, my sternum, like between my breast, not my actual breast. I started to have kind of a leakage, like a oily or a slimy sweat. And at first I thought, well, this is weird because I usually don't sweat like this, and I don't know why this is happening, but maybe it's just hormonal or something like that. So I went and I bought some Lumi deodorant, the body deodorant that you can use anywhere. And I started putting it between my breasts, and I just, chalked it off as, maybe I'm just getting older and I'm starting to sweat. Well, as the months went on, the leakage got worse and worse, where deodorant was not working, and I started to have like a foul odor that was coming from my breast. And it was so noticeable that I was going to the bathroom several times a day and washing with soap and water between my breasts, and I still thought, well, this is so weird because I just don't sweat like this. And so then it got to the point that I was putting paper towels in my bra because it felt like this sweat or whatever it was coming through my skin. I didn't have any open lesions, but I did have this slimy like sweat, and I had a odor coming from my chest. And it got so bad that I finally said, I've got to go to the doctor because I just don't know what this is. And I know that there's some kind of problem. Also, this breast, my left breast, started to get smaller. And then the other one was uneven and a little bit larger. And so I strongly thought, even though my mother is a breast cancer survivor, I did not think that it was breast cancer. I really believed it was the implants rupturing. So I went to a surgeon, and thank God I made a friendship with um, the chief fellow of surgery when I was a EKG specialist and a EKG technician and a cardiac telemetrist at UTMB. I made a friendship with this chief fellow of surgery because I ended up going to her as my doctor, as my surgeon, and I had her look at my breast, and right away she said, I want you to have a ultrasound, I want you to have a mammogram, I want you to go to MRI, and let's look at what's in your chest to see what's going on. So, I really felt like, I guess just, I thought it's going to be something stupid like maybe I sweat too much and my body's just changing. And when the tests come back from the MRI, it's just going to say no results found, normal findings, and everything's going to be okay. So they sent me to MRI, and it's the first time that I've done a breast MRI. So what it was like was you lay face down, and they have these baskets, and you have to take your bra off, and there's a bar that goes in between your chest like this, and then you're laying face down, so your boobs are just hanging in the baskets, and then you have to be still, and you're in that MRI machine for at least an hour. I was in there for an hour and 15 minutes, and that was because I had COVID in 2021, and my lungs have never recovered, and so I breathe very deeply, and I seem out of breath, and so I kept moving in the MRI machine, so they kept saying, well, we're going to have to do this over because you moved, but really I had to breathe, so I was taking deep breaths. So anyway, I really went home that day, and I just thought, you know what, this is so stupid that I spent all this money for a copay. The findings are going to come back, and it's going to be like absolutely no results, normal findings. So I didn't really worry about it. And then I got the email that my results were back on my MyChart. And when I read it, I started crying because I was correct when I was joking and said that my implants probably ruptured. Well, bilaterally, both of them have ruptured. So that was true on the findings. But I did not expect that they would find multiple masses bilateral. And so that was very terrifying. That was just like, I started to cry because knowing that my mother is a breast cancer survivor, I had this terror like, oh no, now what? And then the other thing is I never wanted to go through another breast surgery because it's painful, and I knew that because these have ruptured, they're going to have to dig them out from underneath my muscle, and then they'll have to put new replacement implants in, or there is other options where they can cut the fat off of your stomach and use that and put it in your breast. But I don't want them cutting on other parts of my body, so I'm going to opt for getting replacement masectomy implants. So the other thing is, even if it's non-cancerous, because I have so many masses in my breast, they will probably still have to be taken out, and I just wasn't expecting to have to go through this much surgery. And then at this point, everything is delayed because of the MRI findings. Then they wanted me to go back and have a diagnostic mammogram, which is a 3D tomosynthesis. I may not be saying it right, but something like tomosynthesis. Anyway, it's a different kind of mammogram than the standard kind. And there is a difference. There is a standard mammogram that women have if you don't have any issues. But if they find issues, like in your standard mammogram or your MRI, Then they are going to call you back to have a diagnostic mammogram, which is the 3D mammogram. And then they're also going to make you have an ultrasound. And what they're doing is a specialty care team is going to meet on that day with fellow radiologists. And they are going to map out all the masses in your breast and also the ruptures of your implants if you have that. And then they'll be able to pinpoint exactly what type of surgery you need, or if you need further tests if it looks cancerous. So right now I'm going through that, and I can't have my other scans like my 3D or my ultrasound until March 17th. Now that's just the scans. If that specialty care team feels like there's something more suspicious that they have to look at or biopsy, then I have to go through biopsies. And all of this takes a lot of time. Now, because my ruptures are encapsulated, it's not a medical emergency where I have to go into surgery immediately and have them removed, but I do need them removed. So also, because my surgeon is the chief fellow of surgery, I'm going to have to wait until she has a spot for me. So all of this is taking a whole lot of time, and I'm hoping for the best of the best that they're just going to be able to go in there, take out those old implants, put in another implant, that my breasts are going to be fine. I really love my breasts. Actually, I'm going to say that I have pretty breasts. I do. They're still, at 61, they're still dense. They're still rounded. I think that I have good breasts, especially for my age. And I will miss them if something happens to them. I'm not prepared if the test results come back or the biopsy being cancer. I'm going to be very devastated. This is a very hard thing for a woman to go through. And if anybody tells you that they're not worried or in total anguish over these type of findings, then they're not telling you the truth, because I want to tell you that ever since I got the MRI back with those findings, every day I've just been sick to my stomach, worried. It's not only the dangers of having surgery, but it is the just everything that you have to go through, like, being exposed on a table in front of total strangers with your breast out. It is being worried about how many incisions are they going to have to do to get all these masses out of my breast. Is it even going to be possible, if I have that many masses, to get another replacement implant? There's so many things that run through your head. I never planned on having to put up all the co-pays. Even though I have health insurance, well, there's co-pays, there's deductibles. So every bit of my money right now is going towards medical tests. It's not fun. I'm dead broke this month and the next month coming up because of the hospital test. And then, with insurance now, I'll probably still get a bill for what the insurance does not pay. So I'm worried about that. I have to think about, because I'm single and I have pets, who's going to come over, how long will I be in the hospital to pet sit my pets. It's really so much to worry about. And I have friends that have been through cancer treatment. My mother went through radiation treatment for her breast cancer. It's a very difficult thing to even think about. I love my long hair. I really do. I mean, I can't imagine not having my hair. And I know that sounds superficial, but to someone who's very feminine like me, it would hurt me a lot to lose my hair if I have to take chemotherapy. Um, Now, I always like to end with something funny. Now, I do absolutely believe in ivermectin and fenbendazole for treating cancer. And so my brother's already like, girl, we're going to order you some ivermectin and fenbendazole and screw chemotherapy or radiation. And you know what? I would take it. I would take it. And I really wish that our country allowed cannabis treatment. Oh, I absolutely believe in Rick's cannabis oil. I absolutely believe that it heals people. And it's a dirty shame that our country, America, does not allow cannabis treatment. Now, I'm not a cannabis smoker. I can't stand to smoke anything. I can't stand the smell of marijuana, especially skunk weed. Oh my gosh, I can't stand it. It stinks so bad. I'm not an abuser of it, but when it comes to the healing effects of cannabis, absolutely 100%, I believe in it. So I hope that sharing my story with you about my experience helps somebody else that's going through this. So I've posted a lot of videos, and I'll be telling you about what the experiences are like. And I hope that someone watching who has to go through this in the future will be able to see them and say, oh, that makes me feel a lot better. I know that I'm not alone in my worries. So that is why I shared it with you. Of course, I could choose to be private and not let you know what's going on in my life. But I'm the kind of person that always, whether you like it or not, I'm very real, I'm very authentic, and I wanted you to know that I'm going through this. And it's a very difficult time in my life, you know. I'm a very feminine person. I have a very womanly body and shape. It would be devastating to lose my breast. Now I know there's other women out there that have chosen total masectomy. I think I would be more like my mother, and I would probably, God, I don't even want to take radiation or chemotherapy. I think the fenbendazole and the ivermectin is my choice. I mean, really. And if it's my time to go, you know, I'm not afraid at all of dying. You know, I am so spiritual, and I have talked to so many disembodied spirits. I don't hope that there's an afterlife. I know that there's an afterlife. So the thought of having cancer and dying from cancer is not scary to me at all. It's the in-between that I'm not ready for. I wasn't ready for the financial expense. And I'm so sad in America right now that we don't have universal health care, that people who are going through cancer therapy end up bankrupt, that we have to make choices every day about, can we afford treatment, you know, and it's just not right. I am not prepared for, you know, all of the things that come with this kind of worry. But, you know, I guess I can be thankful that at 61 years old, I've never really had any major health crisis. So, I mean, my body is getting old. So, you know, all of us are facing that time now where things may start to go wrong. And so, anyway, let's hope for the best. I hope I have good news for you. I hope I do all of these tests. It turns out to be benign masses that they can take out. I hope that when they replace my implants, that I still have pretty breasts. If so, Hey, I might have to flash them. Anyway, y'all have a good night, and thank you for listening to my story. Bye.